Unlike fanny packs, bowl cuts, and troll dolls, the sensation is back, only at Zaxby's. The Sensation Salad and the new Sensation Filet Sandwich features hand-breaded chicken, Asian slaw, wonton strips, and citrus vinaigrette, and both are served with an egg roll. The Sensation Salad and the new Sensation Filet Sandwich meal, for a limited time, only at Zaxby's. And skip the line when you order ahead on the Zaxby's app or on Zaxby's.com.
From Tally to Cali,
it's time
to wake up.
Wake up, wake up.
WarChant.com is your ultimate Seminole sports source.
And this is Wake Up War Chant, presented by Zaxby's.
Now here's WarChant.com's Aslan Hajavandi
and Corey Clark.
Wake up! What up, everybody? It's Wake Up War Chant, presented by Zaxby's. I'm Aslan. Corey Clark, also part of the show, the better half of the program. We're part of WarChant.com, the ultimate Seminole sports source. Final day to take advantage of the great promo, 25% off a membership and $75 gift card, e-card you can use on Adidas.com. $75 just to sign up and get the best information on the Florida State beat. Why do we give away stuff for free, Corey?
I don't feel like it's for free. I feel like that's an Adidas thing, right?
Free money. It's giving away free money.
Right?
Yeah, you're right. No, you're right. When you're right, you are right.
Well, I think it's we're taking care of our subscribers.
Yeah, no. Speaking of taking care of our subscribers, there's a goodie bag, a swag bag that will be given out to the first 50 WarChant.com subscribers who come out next week. This very time, well, not this very time because it depends on when you're listening to the show, but come out Friday, August 30th, Jacksonville Beach, Surfer the Bar, Spears and Cheers. It's the official kickoff party for the 2019 season, co-sponsored by the Jacksonville Seminole Club and the Florida State University Alumni Association. This thing is as real gets. First 50 WarChant.com subscribers who come to Surfer the Bar on Friday, August the 30th, will get a bag of goodies. I think it's got a couple, maybe like a sticker, a magnet, a tumbler, or a T-shirt. So, just Gene Williams' way of saying thank you to everybody who's been supporting War Chant for so long.
Very magnanimous of Gene. And also President John Thrasher is said to be in attendance, is going to be in attendance that night at Surfer the Bar.
Yeah.
So, going to be a great time for everyone. They get to see the president and me. I mean, come on. You can't get anything better than that. What a combo.
So head over to Seminoles.com/kickoff 2019 to get your tickets to the event. Again, it's Seminoles.com/kickoff 2019. No way they can't walk out of there with a win on Saturday after all the good vibes that will be created.
I'll be honest with you, Saturday really won't matter.
Not really.
Because of what happens Friday night is going to be life-changing for a lot of people. That's going to be the highlight of the weekend no matter what happens on Saturday.
Yeah, that's right, man. And speaking of highlights and highlights to the day, how about our guy Will on Twitter, at TazMagor13. I think that's probably the way you pronounce it, Corey. But he took a photo and captioned it. It's a photo of a very lovely-looking Zaxby's with the caption, Aslan, Wings, and Things Time. So Will getting after it, getting all up in that Zax sauce. Enjoy yourself there, Will. I'm sure you already did. So this is our last show of the offseason, Corey. When we reconvene next week, it'll be game week, Boise State, potato-loving people versus the Noles. We still are not aware of who the starting quarterback will be for Florida State on that fateful night in Jacksonville. Don't think we know the starter for Boise State either, but we're not really surprised, you and I, that we weren't told on Thursday by Willie that he has a starting quarterback, right?
Correct. Like we said yesterday, it would be odd for him to announce the starter before there's a reason to. So, what did he say? That he said that two of them had separated themselves?
Yeah, he did say that. It was a bad question by me because I asked, do you have a quarterback? Which, being the smart, astute man that he is, was like, yeah, we got a couple. We got a bunch of guys.
Right.
But, yeah, he did say, they got 6 guys. Everybody's competing. There's 2 that seem to have separated themselves from the pack. So, that obviously is implied. I assume, you assume, Alex Hornibrook and James Blackman. So they'll have the scrimmage on Saturday. They practice Thursday. It was the last time we were able to watch practice for the preseason. They're going to have the kickoff luncheon on Friday morning-ish, afternoon-ish. and then they'll have practice later in the day on Friday. Then they'll have a scrimmage. It won't be situational. It'll be a full-out game type, simulation we're expecting on Saturday. That scrimmage is also close to us. And then we'll speak to Willie on Monday, and we're assuming by then we'll find out who it is. The last glimpse that we got of the two quarterbacks, again, just I was a guy that looked at things last year with DeAndre and James, and I never understood the whole, DeAndre is going to be the starter. I didn't see anything that was like, okay, this is substantially or significantly, markedly better than what the other guy's doing. And I figured intangible-wise, James might have had the leg up, so he would be the starter, but that never appeared to be the case, obviously. But, I know there's some rumblings, with some of the things that maybe Kendall said on Media Day that Alex maybe could be the guy. I think Max Bretos, who's on ESPN, Florida State alum, fan of the program or fan of the Seminole Headlines because he knows Ira, says that he thinks, listening to Kendall Browse, that it's going to be Alex Hornibrook starting the game. I just don't. I don't understand. Like you must have a supreme confidence that you're going to be able to run the ball at will if you're going to have Alex Hornibrook as your starting quarterback. So I guess that could be the sort of silver lining if you're a guy like me who's taken an affinity for James Blackman. But like, what would be determining factors in your mind, you think, Corey, for Hornibrook to be named the starter the next time we speak to Willie on Monday?
Blackman has thrown a bunch of picks in practice in the team stuff. He's not making the right reads, and he's throwing a bunch of picks. I think that's the only way that, and we don't know that that's not happening, but that's the only way that Hornibrook isn't. Let me put it that way too. Like Hornibrook is taking care of the ball, and Blackman isn't. Is the only way I could foresee Blackman getting the starting nod. Everything being equal, Blackman is more talented. He's a more talented passer, more talented thrower of the football. But if he keeps throwing really pretty spirals right to safeties, that ain't going to matter much. So that to me would be the only real way. But that is a way. I mean, you have to have a quarterback you can trust to not turn the ball over. Kendall Briles is of the opinion, and he's got more than a decade to back it up. Man, if my quarterback just makes the right read and gets the ball to the right people, we're going to score a ton of points. The only thing I can't have is a guy that gives the ball to the other team. So, that's probably priority number one, is taking care of the football. And if Blackman's out there throwing 2 or 3 picks a day, then yeah, there's a reason that's to me the reason Hornibrook would start if that would ever happen.
Oh, I got anxiety now because that's what he said. He was talking about whoever can get in the car, buckle the seatbelt, turn the engine on, and drive in a straight line is going to be the guy, which is what you would assume Hornibrook brings to the table. Just nothing amazing or dynamic in terms of arm talent, but just a guy who's going to get everybody lined up right and knows where to go with the ball. Oh, no. This is not happening. No, I'm not. It's not. James Blackman's going to be the starting quarterback against Boise. They'll beat Boise en route to an 8-9 win season. And
okay.
It'll be really exciting times in 2020. James hitting a stride, draft eligible year. Well, actually, this is draft eligible year right now as well. But you know what I'm talking about. 3 years of playing, so he'll be ready to go. I've never spoken to James Blackman in my life outside of the design of work and employment. I would be heartbroken if he's not the starter. For him, I don't know. I feel so damn bad for what he had to endure in 2017 and then sat and held the clipboard for that disaster that was out there last year. Let's just give him the Boise. Start first quarter. If he's not moving the ball, okay, then bring in Hornibrook. Just give him just some sort of, even if it's fake, just give him some sort of faith or vote of confidence. Please.
Hey, buddy, I'm with you. I like that kid a lot. The teammates like him. The fans like him. He's a very obviously likable person, as I just pointed out with saying like 4 times in one sentence. But I would feel genuinely bad for him if he lost the job. But then again, life's hard, man. Sometimes if you lost the job, you lost the job. No, and I pointed it out. Briles and Taggart don't really feel indebted to him at all. Like, he hasn't earned anything in their eyes because they didn't recruit him. He's not their guys. He's not their guy. So, hopefully he wins the job. But yes, I would feel bad if he lost it. But I also think if he's not starting, then there's a really good reason.
That's fair. In Kendall and Jimbo we trust. There were a few things I forgot to read during our foray into the Renegade Express, which is now brought to you by First Commerce Financial. One of them was a funny haha question that I accidentally glazed over. Someone asked, what do we think Randy Clements can bench and squat? Maxwell Gibbs asked us that. I forgot to answer. Like, how much do you think Randy Clements? I think Randy could probably still hit 335 on the bench, 1 rep. Squat, I don't know. He looks like his joints are calcified, but I'll say he can still probably squat at least 315.
Yeah, and I would say he said he throws up old man weights, but I think if he really went after, he looks pretty barrel chested. So I think if he really went after, he could get over 300 on the bench. Okay. Maybe 285. He is pretty old. I'm old, but I think he's in his 50s or close to it. So I don't know that he's throwing up over 300, but I think he could get close. And squatting, I don't know, man, 1,000.
Whoa.
850. Who knows? Who knows with those whole line coaches, man? They're crazy.
Well, I don't know.
More than either one of us.
Yes.
I would be safe to say that.
Probably both of us combined, actually. But I wonder what he could do with that contraption. I don't know if you saw the video that's on YouTube right now, which if you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, you should do that as well, folks. It's totally free, and will alert you to whenever we post new video content, even this here podcast. But there was this contraption. We've seen these guys, at least I think Ira, the great Ira Schofel, managing editor of WarChant.com, pointed this out a couple times, and we would see a guy like Ryan Roberts walking up to practice holding this kind of long baton almost. Like almost looks like, halfway between a billy club and a broomstick. Maybe only about 2 feet long, maybe, 1.5 inches in diameter, just like a rod. Just walking, it's like almost like the hit stick, but a small version of it. And I thought it was something they used to kind of roll out their muscles to warm up. But apparently it's a contraption that locks in between their ankles. So they've got this like 2 foot wide rod that goes from ankle to ankle and helps them like work out on their footwork. So like Randy Clements leaving no stone unturned. Maybe that helps out his bench numbers. Maybe he's got the right footwork when he gets under the bar.
Understood. It could be, man. Could be. And he's out there. He's in there working with them. That's the thing. He's in there lifting with them. So I imagine he's pretty strong for an offensive line coach.
And then SPM Jab 1 said, "Wake up." Sean, apparently, is his name. He's from Indianapolis, home of Steve McQueen, Vivica A. Fox, and David Letterman. That's a very good trio there. Asked, what do you think the chances are the 2 Gators block each other again this season, a la Georgia Southern?
I would say slim. I think the coaching on that side of the ball for Florida is better than it was what was that? Was that the 13?
Oh, yeah. When it rained, it poured on those losers.
Yeah, that's right. It was a Georgia Southern game. So it was, exactly right. So I would say close to 0 because Mullen really knows what he's doing on that side of the ball.
Yeah. Hey, what are your thoughts? Yeah, it won't happen again, but they'll lose a lot of games this year, hopefully. So looking forward to that.
Right.
What are your thoughts been on the launch of the ACC Network, Corey?
Well, so funny that you would mention that, Aslan. So for most people know, but if you're a new listener, I have 2 houses because I live in 2 different places. I live here in Atlanta, a little north of Atlanta, half the time, and I live in Tallahassee half the time. And I have 2.
No, really?
Yeah, I got ATT Uverse up here, and they don't get it. AT&T Uverse, and then obviously I have Xfinity Comcast down in Tallahassee, and they do not get it.
Are you going to switch?
I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to pull the cord or I don't know. I mean, no, probably not. Yeah. I like having cable.
I do.
Like you mentioned, and I'll tell you, in another thing, and I know people can talk me out of it, but I've had friends and been to their houses to watch games when they were streaming it, and it was a miserable experience. It would go out half the time. It was slow. If I tried to have Twitter up or something, or Facebook while I'm watching the game, it's 30 seconds behind. It lags. It wasn't a great picture. Just get it together, Comcast and ACC. Now, I hope enough people do cancel it that Comcast finally caves. But I don't know that I can do it.
Yeah, I don't foresee that happening. And I don't think the ACC
But it debuted
was
Thursday
expecting
night,
that either. Yeah,
so
it
that
did.
was good.
Yeah, our guy Dallin Cuff was, I think, one of the first guys on air when they started
That's
off.
right.
It was he did like a quick little Q&A with Christian Leitner. Then they had a sit down with Ralph Sampson. All the greats in ACC history. So
you're telling me they opened it, and their first guests were Christian Leitner and Ralph Sampson?
yeah, man, just means more. I mean,
it's football season.
yeah. Well, let me take it back.
And they did a documentary. The first night is a documentary on Coach K.
Well, of course. I was watching on ESPN.com, and I don't know if it was the actual launch, but the segment that I saw, it made it seem like it played a commercial, and then it was Dallin, and Dallin's like, whoa, that was a great way to introduce things. And behind me are the 6 national championship trophies that the ACC has won this past season, including Clemson, blah, blah, blah. And then, talked about all the greatness in the conference. And, mentioned Christian Leitner. There's a bunch of, ACC greats they had lined up. But, yeah, like within 30 seconds of him being on camera, he transitioned to, like, a Skype interview. But, like, he was in the monitor behind him. So it wasn't, like, it wasn't in the basement. It was good high production quality.
Okay,
I was talking
right.
to Christian
Well,
Leitner.
good.
Basically, Christian Leitner, when people think about ACC basketball, they think about you. What do you think about when you hear the ACC? And he said, the ultimate basketball conference, et cetera, et cetera. Then they went
Again,
to
I get
Ralph
that,
Sampson.
and that makes sense, but it's not basketball season.
It's not. It is not. No, it's not. But ESPN.com threw us something to talk about. Bless their hearts. David Hale and Andrea Adelson, I think, were behind this. The all-time All-ACC college football team. I didn't see it until you retweeted it. Chris Lowe also part of it, too. Chris Lowe knows his stuff. I think it was a pretty accurate tweet you had. Florida State well represented on the list. A couple things I think we probably would agree on. I know one of the things you point out in your tweet was the omission of Marvin Jones was a bit dubious. I think Deshaun Watson being the quarterback is a little prisoner of the moment, recency bias. What is the thing that stands out to you most, whether it's positive or dubious, I guess, Corey?
Yeah, those things are almost impossible to do, especially because some of them, the ACC, they're going back to the 60s, 50s and 60s. And, look, I didn't even necessarily think Marvin needed to be on the first team. The 3 linebackers on the first team were Derek Brooks, Luke Kuechly, and Lawrence Taylor. So you're like, all right, you can live with that. It's 3 Hall of Famers. Kuechly will be in the Hall of Fame. That's a pretty good group. And I would say this, Derek Brooks played in the ACC for 3 years. Marvin only played in the ACC for 1. So I do think that matters. But then you look and like Walter Jones only played in the ACC 1 year, and he was first team. Aaron Donald really played in the ACC 1 year. He was second team. Marvin Jones should have been somewhere on that list because he's awesome. And they had 3 teams. And again, it's not a big deal, right? It's not the end of the world. It's just a goofy list. We like these things. But I thought Marvin was probably the biggest, in my opinion, the biggest oversight. Charlie and Deshaun, Deshaun played 3 years. He started basically as a true freshman. He did start as a true freshman. He was playing the defending national champs as a true freshman. Charlie started his 4th year out of high school was when he finally got to start. And he was not great for the first half of that season. He was unbelievable the last year and a half of his career, but I didn't necessarily really have a problem with Charlie being. Was Charlie second team, right?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, but I get it both ways. Like I'm not so myopic that I don't appreciate Deshaun Watson because I was a huge Charlie Ward fan growing up. Charlie Ward was awesome, but so was Deshaun Watson, and Deshaun Watson won a national title too. So I know Charlie won the Heisman, but they were very close. If you did an all-time best ACC athlete, Charlie Ward's in your top 5 because he was so good in basketball. But yeah, I didn't have that big a problem with Deshaun over Charlie Ward. It really could have gone either way. Deshaun Watson was really good, and got really good. So yeah, no real problem with that. Did you have a problem with that?
Well, now that you mention it, I guess not. I don't know. It's just the whole timeline thing too. Obviously, with Florida State joining the ACC, in the 90s. Although I don't know anybody but behind Charlie would have been a better representative. But I don't know, like Jamison even make? I don't even think he made any of the teams. But then he had
No.
one really amazing year, and then the second year, to be truthful, everybody was really not a very statistically nice season. I mean, he won a bunch of games, which is obviously the goal of the sport. Like Lamar Jackson in front of him, though. I mean, like Lamar won a Heisman, cool. So did Jameis, and he went undefeated and he won a national title. That doesn't get you ahead of Lamar Jackson. And Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, that one I would have. I would have Jameis ahead of Lamar Jackson, and I was a huge fan of Lamar Jackson. I voted for him to win the Heisman. I might have voted for him twice. So Lamar Jackson was awesome. But yeah, I don't know that anybody would say Lamar Jackson had a better college career than Jameis Winston.
Yeah.
Jameis Winston won. He never lost a game. He never lost a regular season game.
Love him. Like Derwin on second team defense. I mean, I don't put Jalen there. I mean, I feel like Jalen probably accomplished more. And I mean, what did we get out of Derwin? Love Derwin. Extremely talented, versatile, and I think he just got out of surgery earlier on Thursday for that foot injury he sustained. That was I don't know. That's kind of one where I'm like, I don't know if are we doing basically like what they project to be or what they're doing in the NFL? Like, Walter Jones. I mean, he played one season. I mean, I'm not complaining.
Yeah, I think a lot of it had to do with the NFL. What happened in the NFL? Like Lawrence Taylor obviously was awesome in college too, but he wasn't Lawrence Taylor until he got to the Giants. And Derek Brooks too. Like Derek Brooks was really good in college, but he wasn't as good as Marvin Jones. It's just that Marvin Jones didn't have the NFL career that Derek Brooks did. So I think that whether they say it or not, it weighs into it. But again, it's just a list that 4 people debated and came up with. Everybody's going to have problems with it. Heck, NC State fans were mad that Torrey Holt wasn't on the first team at wide receiver because the first team wide receivers were Peter Warrick and Calvin Johnson. Like, it's hard to argue, though, but it's also hard. Like, I was trying to think of an argument against Torrey Holt, and I'm like, well, no, he was awesome, too. Like, there's not – all 3 of those guys were awesome. Whoever wasn't going to be in the first team was going to feel snubbed, whether it was Peter Warrick, Calvin Johnson, or Torrey Holt, because they were good every year they played. Torrey Holt was really good. So, yeah, man, it just – you know what? It shows you how awesome the ACC's been this whole time, right? That there's so many good players, you can't keep everybody happy. Marvin was an oversight. I think Marvin finished 4th in the Heisman as a linebacker in 92. Like, he was just incredible. He was otherworldly. So if you're going to let people in there for 1 year in the ACC, Marvin has to find his way somewhere on that list. I wouldn't have put him first team because, like I said, Brooks, Kuechly, Lawrence Taylor, that's a good list. And they all played more ACC seasons. They had more impact on ACC games. But Marvin, I mean, that guy was unbelievable. Him and Dion are the 2 best defensive players Florida State's ever had, in my opinion.
Your second team linebackers were Aaron Curry from Wake, E.J. Henderson from Maryland, Jeff Davis out of Clemson. And your third team, Ahmad Brooks from Virginia, Sam Cowart, Florida State, Mark Herzlich, Boston College.
Yeah, so like
Ahmad Brooks.
The Cowart win is bizarre. And Cowart was very good. Again, he kind of gets overlooked, lost in the shuffle of great Florida State players. But he wasn't better than Marvin Jones. I mean, he just wasn't. Marvin, finished 4th in the Heisman Trophy voting at linebacker. So, yeah. But, I mean, what are you going to do? It's not like this is official. It's not like this really has any impact on anything. But it's just something to talk about, right? Let me ask you this, Aslan. If they do another one of these lists in, say, 15 years, will any current Florida State player be on it?
I don't like the tone you used when you said, let me ask you, Aslan. That was a little sassy, I felt like.
Right. I'm tired of you getting to ask all the questions.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because they preface this thing, or before they roll it out with, lastly, some resumes are still being written. So Trevor Lawrence, Travis Etienne, Bryce Hall, and Andres might end up among the greats. Like, chill out with Travis Etienne. Chill out with that one. Good grief. What are you going to put him in front of Warwick Dunn? Will anybody from Florida State be on that list? Man, it's tough to say because guys like Terry, Akers, Marvin, like they're running out of time. They're just going to have one season really left to do anything if everything goes well for them, health-wise, production-wise. I don't know if there's anybody, Travis J or Akeem Dent, maybe one of the next great DBs, from DBU.
That might be that might be the best shot one of those guys. Only because, we both think Terry and Marvin are gone after this year. And as good as we both think they are, mean, again, read some of those names. Like Tamorian Terry's not pushing Peter Warwick aside or Torrey Holt. So yeah, it's good. It'd be really hard to foresee, other than a freshman that hasn't had a chance to make any impact. None of the guys that have been playing for a while, I don't foresee that happening. Trevor Lawrence he might find his way on that list. But I don't know. Lord, is he gonna push Lamar Jackson aside? I wouldn't put Trevor Lawrence ahead of Jameis. I mean, maybe I will in 2 years, but yeah, man. Hey, ACC's loaded, buddy. What a great football conference. I'm glad they gave us all that basketball on the debut of the network.
Thanks, Dabo. Let's take a break.
At Birch Orthodontics, they know what a difference a beautiful and healthy smile can make in your life.
They take the time to get to know you and perform a thorough exam so that they can make an individualized treatment plan just for you or your child.
They use the latest technology in a warm and comfortable environment. So whether you are interested in traditional metal or clear braces or clear aligners, they can give you the smile you deserve. They know investing in your smile means investing in your future. And at Birch Orthodontics, they are honored to be a part of your smile journey.
Serving Tallahassee for 16 years and supporting the Noles since forever. Check them out at birchorthodontics.com. BURCH orthodontics.com. Okay, we're back. So I wanted to talk about this when we did a video chat with Ira sometime. We did a video chat on YouTube on Wednesday night with Ira, and, he poked fun at me at one point for just, agreeing with everything he said. I'm like, hey, man, or disagreeing with everything he said. And I was just like, well, it's no fun if I sit here and agree with you the whole time. Not a lot of stuff. I genuinely believe a lot of things I say. Sometimes I try to be devil's advocate and just to, spur some conversation. There was one thing that Ira wrote up here this past week on warchant.com that was a really sort of nice, wrap up of Media Day, at least with Kendall Browse. And it was, 6 things that should excite you, or something along the lines of that. 6 things that should excite you about what Kendall Browse said at Media Day. And it's, this whole, having a playbook thing is a foreign concept to a lot of people. It's a foreign concept to me. And his sort of explanation was, hey, it's really not that big of a deal. Look at kids these days. They're very visually driven. Everything's on a screen, whether it's a phone, a tablet, et cetera, et cetera. Everything's on a screen. So, playbooks are kind of an obsolete thing. Ira pointed out, as a father of 3 young ladies, that he constantly sees them using phones, and that's the way they learn. They're always, on tablets, things of that nature. So it makes sense, and I guess streamlines things, or is more easily processed by people of this generation, younger men and women. But a guy on War Chant, and shout out to him. This is him. This is conspiracy Aslan, but this is him that floated out first, and nobody. It kind of just got glossed over. I think his name is Non Sequitur Nole. So I think that's his name, or Mr. Non Sequitur Nole, I think. Anyhow, non sequitur, what does that mean, Corey? It's Latin for something, right?
Non sequitur means you kind of just go from one topic to another without having really any transition or reason to do it.
Look at that. Maybe that should be my handle. Maybe it's my burner account.
Yeah, it sounds like you're talking it up.
Yeah. So he said, I wonder if this whole not having a playbook thing is for the proprietary nature of the Briles offense. And I was thinking to myself, like, that's not a bad theory, because I do.
It's more like an answer to something that you didn't prove. It's hard to explain. It's not exactly what I just said, but it's more like an answer. You come up with a conclusion that doesn't really fit the premise that you gave.
Corey, you just jumped in the middle of me trying to actually make the point after I wound up for 7 minutes.
Sorry, man. But, I wanted to get that. I wanted to make sure I got that definition right. I think I could be wrong on that, but that's what I think of when I think of non sequiturs. You leap to a conclusion where you didn't have any really basis. You didn't prove it. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
First off, this is a funny thing from the phone line, 850-792-5730, in terms of burners. I'm going to play this since we've already gone off the rails.
Hey guys, it's Sevy from Nashville. Plenty of Zaxby's up here, and also birthplace of Buccaneers legend, Shelton Quarles. I'm pumped to be heading down to Jacksonville this year to see Bavion and the boys bully the Broncos. My question is, I noticed someone on the tribal council who's been using the username Jimbo Lova Forever, and wanted to know if that happens to be Aslan's burner profile.
And it's not, Sevy. It's not my burner.
I don't know, man. Can you prove it?
I don't know. Maybe Mr.
I got to look at those IP addresses.
But Mr. Non-Sequitur, that's his name, was saying, could this be a proprietary thing like Kendall doesn't want to give? And think about the transient nature of his career the last 4 years. He's just been going from place to place to place to place. And this offense, to a certain extent, is like the family recipe, right? Like it's the Zaxby Zax sauce recipe hidden in a safe somewhere. So why would you print out playbooks and then leave them behind? And I mean, I don't know how much of what they're doing is revolutionary, but I think there has to be a certain aspect, and Willie mentioned it, it's one thing to go and watch them at their school do stuff, and they'll help you out as coaches, part of the fraternity, but now there's no secrets. So I do wonder if there's a certain aspect of, the whole, no playbook thing is to make things easier, but I'm kind of also protecting the asset that my family has created that's been such a big part of a lot of people's success in this sport.
I don't know about that.
Not buying it?
I don't think so.
I tried selling it.
I mean, it's a good theory, I guess, but no. I don't think you would, if you really wanted a playbook, if he thought that was and he was just doing this, so there'd be no literal playbook to follow him around from place to place, then I don't think you would risk not being as good. Do you know what I mean? Like right. if you thought the best way to teach this offense was with a playbook, I don't think you would you would risk that season to not teach it as well as possible because you're worried about something that might happen 2 or 3 years later. That's not how you advance in your career. You do as well as you possibly can at Florida State, and then that's going to help you out in 2 years.
All right, whatever, man. Way to ruin it.
No, I'm just saying.
By the way, aren't they playing right now? I should check out the score on this. Florida State opened up the defending national champions, the women, the lady soccer team, the Lady Noles. We're allowed to call them. I'm supposed to not call them Lady Noles. I'm sorry. The Florida State women's soccer team, they opened their season up against TCU, I think. Let me check out what happened there.
They're up 2-0 as far as I can tell in the 85th minute.
2-0, Corey. Get it right.
2-0. Sorry, not 2-0. 2-0.
Gosh. Ugly American soccer fan. 2-0.
Dana scored a goal.
Okay.
And a freshman scored a goal.
All right.
So there you go. They're up 2-0 with like 5 minutes left.
All right. We'll go ahead and
we're going to assume they're going to hold on for that one. But yeah, it's a good start.
We'll put that
was that on the ACC network or just ACC Extra?
Extra. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
But all Sunday's matchup against former Alex Hornibrook Institution of Higher Learning, Wisconsin, Sunday, that's going to be on ACC Network. Call and complain, people. Call and complain. Call your providers. Making fun of that a little bit, but I think I'm tasked with doing a story to explain to people what their options are if they don't have ACC Network through their cable provider. Maybe be on the lookout for that. If it happens, it'll be on warchant.com. Again, this is the last day to use that promo code Adidas. $75 e-card to adidas.com and 25% off a membership at warchant.com. Corey, the next time that you and I talk, at least, with microphones next to us, it's going to be game week. 2019 football season is here, man.
And we're going to have the Florida-Miami game to talk about.
Yeah. All right.
Who you got in that one?
Oh, dude. At one point, the state of Florida, the head coaches were Butch Davis. Yeah, Butch Jones, Tennessee guy. Butch Davis, Bobby Bowden, Steve Spurrier. Right now, it's Willie, Dan Mullen, and Manny Diaz. Like, I watched Manny Diaz mic'd up, and he couldn't motivate me to get up and get a glass of water if I hadn't drank in a day. Just like, what are we doing? What are you guys doing? Is Miami going to try? At any point, are they going to try to restore what they were? Like, what are they doing down there? I mean, I don't want to say, I don't want to be on a Florida State podcast sticking up for Miami, but they've won 5 national titles, and they act like they don't even care about football anymore. So good luck to them. Good luck to Manny. Will they beat Florida, though? It's in Orlando. I'm going to go, I hope Miami does win. All that said, I'll say 23-20 Miami. But the more I think about it, Florida probably will win. But I'm going to root. I don't want to say root. I think there's more benefit for Florida State for Miami to win than Florida. That's my explanation.
Yeah, probably. It's better for the ACC in the long run. But, yeah, I think I got Florida too. I think I just don't quarterback making his first start against a team like that in an environment like that. I don't trust him to play real well. And not that I think Franks is great, but he was pretty good at the end of last year. So, yeah, weirdly, I think Florida will have a quarterback advantage. We'll see. Maybe this kid's awesome. He's from my neck of the woods, too. He's from Gwinnett County.
Okay.
So hope, maybe he's really good, but I would just assume that Florida would have the better quarterback. I think they're going to have the better offense in general. And, I feel like they're going to win, something like 20-16, 26-16, something like that I could see. Should be a close, entertaining game. And I feel like Florida State fans will enjoy it in the sense that one of the teams they hate is going to lose. They're guaranteed of it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I was about to formulate this theory earlier in the day about, just there's nothing redeeming at all about Florida. But there's really nothing redeeming at all about Miami either. But they're in the ACC. Unfortunately, these things matter. I was listening to Russillo's podcast with Stanford Steve, and, he was talking about, as a Stanford fan, I think Stanford plays UCF and another, not that they are a Power 5, but I think they play like Northwestern. They play a Big Ten team, I think. He, as a Stanford guy, played football at Stanford, says he would rather Stanford beat UCF and Northwestern than Oregon and Southern Cal, because that's how much this whole conference supremacy nonsense has gotten to where, like, if you're a Pac-12 guy, quote unquote, like, you need to win your non-conference games to give your conference legitimacy, because that's the way these arguments have been framed nowadays, which is horrible, which we all have the SEC to blame for it. But yeah, that's just like, all right, if Miami wins, well, at least you don't have to hear the SEC chant from the toothless losers.
No, yeah, I get it, man. I would assume most Florida State fans, but not a large percentage, will probably be rooting deep down for Miami, but they also would not care if they lost 49-0.
Yeah.
I think what they want is they would rather Miami win, but if Miami loses, they'd want Miami to lose by 5 touchdowns. Right?
Yeah.
Don't you think that's the way? So, yeah, but it'll be it's good, man. College football's here. Unbelievably, college football is here. We made it, dude. We made it. I know we're going to talk about next week being the first week but we made it. College football starts on Saturday.
It does.
We are here.
Yeah. We'll be a corner pocket, or at least Corey will be out there as part of the Jeff Cameron Listener Appreciation Party, which I think is sponsored by War Chant. I may go out there. I may make an appearance. But Corey, hold it down if I'm not there.
Oh, I will, buddy. But you probably should be there, too. You got to show your face.
Okay. All right, he's Corey. I'm Aslan. The preseason is over. The next time we talk to y'all on Wake Up War Chant, it'll be game week. Look forward to it. Have a great weekend, everybody.
WarChant.com is the ultimate inside source for FSU football and recruiting. And now you can get in on the action for free for an entire month. WarChant.com is offering a risk-free 30-day trial subscription. Get full access to the #1 website covering the Seminoles just by entering the promo code WarChant30. That's WarChant30. Sign up and get in on the world's most active FSU message boards. Receive breaking news, stories from our award-winning staff, plus get exclusive interviews and videos. Just enter the promo code WarChant30. WarChant.com, your ultimate Seminole sports source.